Thanks for watching Eri TV, dear viewers. Welcome to this week's Open Mic. My guest for this evening is Mr. Nicholas Musonye. He is the Secretary General of CECAFA. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the tournaments, actually, they're a blast. I mean, they have been going on for the past week or so.
Yes.
And so far, 8 matches have been in progress. But before that, I want my viewers to know more about Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you, Rafael, and also thank you very much for inviting me to your studio. This is the first time I'm visiting your very, very lovely studio, and I really appreciate you for that. Actually, my name is Nicholas Musonye. I come from Kenya. I'm a journalist like you. I've been served in the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation for some time. Then I worked for the Daily Nation newspaper, the biggest in East Africa, the Standard newspaper. I also worked for BBC. So basically, I am a journalist. I happen to be in football by mistake, but I've stayed more in football than I've stayed in the media.
All right.
So basically, I am a journalist, and I still breathe journalism in me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So from a journalist to a journalist then.
Yes.
Welcome again to our program.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, Mr. Nicholas, we have the under 15 CECAFA tournaments happening right here in Eritrea. My first question is, why in Eritrea?
Well, and that's a very good question, actually. We, in the General Assembly of CECAFA in 2017 in Nairobi, we had chosen Djibouti to be the host of this under 17, not under 15. So actually it was Djibouti to host the under 17. But in 2018, in our meeting in Addis Ababa, we still endorsed Djibouti to host under 17. But when we met, when the presidents of the federations of zone, CECAFA zone, met in Dar es Salaam last year with the president of CAF, Dr. Ahmad, the president of CAF suggested that we organize under 15 and not under 17. So during that meeting, I proposed to the presidents who were present at that time, that let's organize this competition in Eritrea and give Djibouti another competition. I did this with a purpose, because we had been here in 2010 and we had seen the elegance, the way Eritreans organized that tournament under 20 in 2010. So I wanted us to see a repeat of the same organizational skills of the people of Eritrea. Good luck, we got the support of Mr. Dr. Ahmad that we do under 15 in Asmara. Then when we asked the president of the Federation of Eritrea, Mr. Isaias, he said, Eritrea will do it. And that's why in that meeting of Dar es Salaam, we endorsed Eritrea to organize the first under 15 tournament of CECAFA here.
So this is the first?
This is the first CECAFA is organizing the under 15 in the history of the zone. So Eritrea is number 1 in launching the youth football, the grassroots development football of CECAFA in Eritrea. That's how it came about to be organized here.
Oh,
yes.
Right. Interesting. Okay, now speaking about the grassroots development of football,
Yes.
FIFA projects do support this kind of the developments in the young. Now, I want to know how this influences the young.
Yeah, good question, because you know very well that for any country to develop its football and have good teams in the long run, you need to develop football at the grassroots. And I want to thank FIFA. In the FIFA Congress of 2016, the FIFA president then, Blatter, said, let's go back to the grassroots to build our football from the grassroots. Because when you get higher players from the streets, you put them in your team, they have no culture. Build a culture from the youth. Build the culture of your team from the youth. And have a philosophy of how you want them to play. So they initiated a program called FIFA Forward Program. FIFA Forward Program. This one.
This one.
For the development of football from the grassroots. And every federation in the world, Eritrea FA, Kenya FA, Ethiopia FA, have that program. And it has been aligned to the zonal groups like SECAFA, WAFU, COSAFA. We have been aligned to that one. While the federations are developing their football at grassroots level as nationalizations, we have to organize football as a zone level, SECAFA zone level, WAFU zone level, UNAF, all zones in the world. They have to organize, they have to align with the federations to organize this under 15, under 17, under 20, for men and women. We have bred this for men, for boys. We will do the same for ladies sometime when you arrange a program nicely. So it is a program that is initiated by FIFA to develop football from the grassroots. Because there is talent that is hidden. Unless it is tapped early, it can be wasted. That's why we want to commend FIFA for initiating this FIFA Forward Program. They fund these competitions, they fund development courses, they fund technical courses. All these are included in that FIFA Forward Program. And this is the benefit we are having now. They organize, they tell us, give us your program, we give them the program, then they say, organize this is the funding. Organize this is the funding. But also the national associations and the governments of the regions, they must also be involved in it for it to succeed. FIFA can have a program, but if the national FA and the government do not align to it, it will not succeed. So it is a collaborative effort between FIFA, its member stations, and the zones. Yes.
All right. Okay, Mr. Nicholas. Now, I want to know the fact that SECAFA is hosting its tournament here. Okay. What are the benefits to be gained for Eritrea? Okay. So, what is there to be gained?
One of the most important aspects of hosting a tournament of any magnitude is the visibility of your country. Country is exposed. People know Eritrea can do ABCD. It is actually like a PR program. You market your country. You make in some physical finances here and there. But the main aspect of hosting a competition is to expose your country to tourism, investors, people visiting your country, promoting the image of a country. That is the main thing about hosting a competition. Russia hosted the World Cup. They didn't make any profit from it. South Africa hosted the World Cup. They didn't make any profit out of it. But the visibility of the nation. Let me come to a political point of view. People say Eritrea is closed country. It is not. Eritrea is open. I've seen many whites here. When you are in Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, you are told there is no white man, there is no Indian in Eritrea. They are here. I have seen them here doing business and walking on the streets freely. So it is opening up your country to the outside world. For people to know that there's a country called Eritrea, a country of proud people, resilient in the true word in the true sense of the word. So hosting a competition is to put your country to the outside world, get tourists, get visitors, besides also developing infrastructure. Because from here, we are going to make our report to FIFA. Eritrea has only one national stadium, I believe, this one. If we can ask the Eritrea Football Federation to have another stadium like this, maybe in Massawa or somewhere within Eritrea, where the youth of this country can benefit, we will tell FIFA, look, we were in Eritrea, we had only one stadium, and it needs to be redone. Okay? It needs to be redone properly, the ground. We need another stadium in Eritrea, because when we want to go back to play for the national teams, FIFA will say, how much money do you want? Send it to ENFF. That's part of organizing competitions, to create infrastructure facilities and to expose the country.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Nicholas, I want to come back to the CECAFA tournament under 20
Yes.
9 years ago. How has it reflected basically to today's tournaments?
That was the first time Eritrea was organizing the CAFA tournament. And you could see the heavy government hand in it. Very heavy government hand in it. And I really think that tournament was very highly government inclined competition. The government did everything. They sent a plane to Nairobi, I remember. They sent a big plane to Nairobi to pick all the players and officials from Nairobi to Asmara. 10 teams to Asmara. Everything was laid. The opening ceremony was very good. You could see the government hand in it, even this one. Now, after that success of 2010, people have been asking me, you have been praising Eritrea for organizing 2010 competition for under 20. How come you have never gone back to Eritrea to organize a similar thing for us to see? Because those guys who were here 2010, most of them are not here. The ones who are here, they've been asking me, why can't you go back to Eritrea and show us what they can do? That's why I said, Eritrea, in terms of organization, if they want to organize something good, they will do it. They did it, and you saw 2-3 days ago the opening ceremony in this stadium. It was simple but very magnificent. Simple but very, very magnificent. So Eritreans, if they want to do something, they do. If they don't want, they don't do. That's why I say you are a proud people, full of pride.
All right. Okay. Again, now this tournament's in
Yes.
progress in Asmara. It's being held under the central banner, peace
Yes, and development.
Okay. Is there any prize to be won?
No. For youth of under 20 downwards, we don't encourage prizes. We have trophies and medals. We want to develop a culture. And this is a culture, I think it is embedded in the people of Eritrea. This monetary inducement, it may not be the best thing to do. These are young boys. You don't expose them to prices of money all the time. FIFA doesn't allow it. FIFA says, develop the youth to grow upright, to do the right thing. So in this under 20 downwards, we don't give prizes, but we give medals and trophies to promote our youth with good culture. We want to develop a culture of hard work, uprightness, no corruption, no inducement of money here and there. You know what that can do to a young man.
Exactly.
If you start showing him money at that age, he will grow with that mentality that I must do anything, I get money. Anything I do, I must get money. That's a wrong mentality. We are discouraging that. The prize money can be given to the old people who are almost retired. They retire with it. These are young men who must grow with a culture of working hard to gain in the future. So there is no prize money.
How have you evaluated the turnout of the people at the stadium?
The turnout is not as good as I expected, I'm to be honest. The opening ceremony was good. I believe because Eritrea was playing. We want to see today, the next match, because the turnout has been low in the other matches where Eritrea is not playing. Definitely, that's obvious. You saw even AFCON. When Egypt left the competition, there was no turnout. But I still believe Eritreans will come for the next matches. Because these are 24 matches, it's a lot of matches. So they can't be coming every day. And paying every day is expensive. So I believe that as the tournament gains momentum, Eritreans will start coming again to support the competition. Football is about people. If there are no people in the stadium, it's boring. Even the players don't get that steam to play. But if there are people cheering either one team or, that the players get motivated to play. They're eager to show. But if the stadium is empty, it's boring. Football is about people in the stadium. I want to ask you, the media, especially the national TV, mobilize people and let them come to the stadium. It's your challenge. It's a challenge to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, your message is very loud and clear.
Yeah.
I write it here at this program.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're actually running out of time, but I want you to tell me your overall impressions about the country that others may see.
I have been to many African countries, many, apart from only two, which you have not mentioned. I have been to all African countries where you see there is peace in the country. This country is peaceful. There are many countries where there is no peace. You can't venture outside at night. Here, daytime, the streets are quiet. Evening, everybody is moving out and enjoying themselves. Maintain it. Try to maintain this kind of peace. Because in Africa, any spark of instability is difficult to control. So I want to appreciate the leadership of Eritrea for holding this country together for all this long with a lot of resilience. Despite the pressure on Eritrea, you have never broken down as a country. You are a people of resilience. You are very, very strong people. Very strange indeed, despite the difficulties that you face, like any other country in Africa. But you are very resilient. The leadership has been very strong. I commend it for that. Leadership of this country has been very strong, holding the country together for that long. We have many problems in many African countries. I want to mention, in neighboring around there, after 2 years of independence, hell breaks loose. Stability here and there, but you have been able to stay as a nation for 30 years. It's not very easy. More than a quarter century. Not very easy. But you need to maintain it. You must know the importance of peace and stability. Without the two, we will not be here. Because people will say, don't go to Eritrea. You will not go and play football in the stadium because there will be soldiers on the streets. There are others living in the stadium. But here, people walk at night. People go to the stadium freely without any interference. I believe that is what Africa should be. I will tell many Kenyans, I'm a Kenyan, to come and see Eritrea. The only thing I request people from Eritrea, the government of Eritrea, to do is to change the new visa coming to Eritrea. Let them open that one a bit. People want to come to Eritrea and see. But when you have visa, you block a bit people to come. Try to be flexible. The country should be flexible. Try to open it a bit so that people can come and see Eritrea. I am happy. And I want to repeat this. I said before, I am happy that the president of Eritrea, Mr. Isaias, and the president of Ethiopia, the prime minister, Abiy, they have made peace in these two countries. There are many Ethiopians who have relatives here. There are many Eritreans who have relatives that side. They had been blocked for 30 years to visit each other. But now, when I come here, anytime I fly to Asmara, the flights are full, which means people are now easy to move, to go and see their relatives, to do business the other side, and do business this side. This unlocking of the hostilities of the two countries has made a big difference in the Horn of Africa. People may not know. The unlocking of the hostilities of the two countries has opened up the Horn of Africa. People can easily come to Asmara, and people from Asmara, Eritrea, can easily go outside and do their business, go to school, seek other ventures and all that. I want to commend the two leaders of these two countries for what they have done for these two countries and the Horn of Africa.
All right. Mr. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time and thank you for sharing our floor. We wish all the best for the CECAFA Under 15 tournament and may the lucky winner be.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
my pleasure for me to come here.
Dear viewers, that wraps up this week's open mic. It is good night from us.
Thank you so much.